Everything you hold dear is already slipping away. Not in some distant future, but right now, as you breathe, as your heart beats, as the sound of this voice enters your ears. The idea that life is stable is the greatest illusion, and yet we cling to it with trembling hands. The Buddha said, all conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. Dhammapada, verse 277. But have you truly seen it? Or have you only nodded in agreement without letting it pierce your heart? You may say you understand impermanence, that you accept death, aging, loss. But understanding is not the same as awakening. Until you have watched your mother's hands weaken as she reaches for a glass of water she used to lift effortlessly. Until you have stood in the silence after someone's laughter no longer fills the room. Until you have felt the cold shock of your own breath catching when you realize something you loved is gone forever, you do not truly understand. The Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta 131, reminds us, just as a dewdrop on the tip of a blade of grass will vanish at sunrise, so too is the life of beings, brief, uncertain, and gone in a breath. What is permanent in your world? The job title you work so hard for, the photos you store in your phone, the plans you've made for next month, next year, all of them are written in water. And yet the real tragedy is not that things end, it's that we live as if they don't. The Lotus Sutra teaches, in this burning house of existence, beings amuse themselves with toys of illusion. You chase status, desire, validation, even comfort, as if any of them can last. But this is like carving your name into the wind. The robe you wear, the identity you polish, the wounds you hide, none of them will follow you past the flame of your final breath. When the Buddha's disciple Vakali was sick and near death, he cried for not having seen the Buddha often. But the Buddha said, "He who sees the Dharma, Vakali, sees me." Samyutta Nikaya, Sutta 2287. What does this mean? It means the real path is not external. It's not a ritual or a teacher or a philosophy to quote. It is seeing clearly, without clinging, without turning away. When you truly see impermanence, the fear you carry begins to soften because you realize you were never meant to possess anything in the first place. Not your youth, not your lovers, not your strength. Even your suffering is not yours to keep. The Avatamsaka Sutra whispers, all phenomena are like dreams, illusions, bubbles, or shadows, like dew or lightning. Thus should we view them. And yet, strangely, it is in that very vanishing where peace begins. When you stop demanding permanence from what is fleeting, you begin to see the world not as something to grasp, but something to bless with your full presence. That flower, blooming in a crack of concrete, gone tomorrow. The laughter of a child on the stairs, a note in the wind, your own reflection changing each year, fading like a painting left in the sun. These are not tragedies. These are sacred truths. Even tears can be holy if they arise from seeing clearly. The Zen master Ryukan once wrote, "Too lazy to be ambitious, I let the world take care of itself. 10 days worth of rice in my bag, a breeze in the pine trees, and I watch the clouds return. There's a freedom in letting go, a kind of joy that cannot be taken because it clings to nothing. This is not detachment in the cold sense, but the warmth of acceptance, of being fully alive in a world that is constantly dying. The Heart Sutra reminds us, form is emptiness. Emptiness is form. This is not a riddle. It is your daily reality. The moment you say, "I love you," The person you're saying it to is already changing. The food you're savoring is already becoming memory. The home you return to each night is slowly aging, fading, trembling under time. And still, you keep breathing. You keep loving. You keep living, not in spite of impermanence, but because of it. When the Buddha taught the fire sermon, Aditapariyaya Sutta, he said, the eye is burning, forms are burning with the fire of lust, with the fire of hate, with the fire of delusion. That fire is the very energy of life, wild, radiant, impermanent. So ask yourself, what would you hold differently if you truly knew it would vanish? What would you say to your father, your friend, your child, if you realized this might be your last hour together? What grudge would you release? What kindness would you finally allow yourself to offer? Stop waiting for peace to come from what you can control. Let it come instead from what you're willing to release. Like the final note of a flute that lingers only in memory, this life is made beautiful because it ends. The Buddha didn't teach impermanence to frighten you. He taught it to wake you up, to tear away the illusion of permanence that keeps you in chains, to offer you a freedom not based on holding, but on seeing. There's nothing you need to do right now but listen, not just with your ears, but with your being. As the Sutta Nipata, verse 574 says, like a streak of lightning in the night, so is this life, brief, brilliant, and gone. Let it move you. Let it humble you. Let it soften your grip. And then let it free you. And if you wish to keep nurturing mindfulness and wisdom, subscribe and join our community to continue exploring profound Dhamma reflections together. The path of practice is long. See you in the next video.